I mean, I don't see how we can't be happy about that.
Decomposing, you be bugging.
It should. So I immediately, set myself up, to expect the release. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Raider Nation. So, we are continuing with the series. I see my computer is over here. 1 second. There we go. Yeah, so we are continuing with our series, ladies and gentlemen, on analyzing every player that is a part of the Las Vegas Raiders roster. And I'm excited for this one. I'm sure there's some preconceived notions on where I'm going with this one. Shout out to my guys, the Raiders Syndicate. If you can only imagine, they just been gouging me, just gashing me on every and any comment they can find based on my grading. It's all part of the game. It is what it is, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm sure you all can see I'm definitely wearing something different. Yeah, I hear it's this matching thing is an old person's problem. Shout out to the young folks, because I definitely like to match. As you all should be aware, this is not a Raider jersey. This is a Buffalo Bills jersey, ladies and gentlemen. One that I had to go dust off from the closet because unfortunately one of the greats have passed. So, I am going to honor Mr. O.J. Simpson the only way I kind of know how. Outside of all of the right stuff outside of football. We'll get into that possibly tonight on the Turf and Rundown show tonight. 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific Standard Time, if you want to hear a little bit more. But yes, this is an O.J. Simpson jersey. Yeah, shout out to O.J., man. If you haven't heard yet, O.J.'s lost his life to battling cancer. I believe he had prostate cancer, and I think he passed away yesterday. So I'm paying homage to, by far, arguably one of the best running backs to ever touch a football. He inspired me for sure. I remember some of the first clips you could watch on ESPN, right? Of OJ, Jim Brown, right? all of the greats up to that point. And I absolutely remember him being a complete monster on the field. So this is how I'm going to pay my homage, right? Shout out to the Simpson family. Condolences. And yeah, man, he's going to forever live regardless of how you look at it, right? One way or the other. So it is what it is. Handle it how you want to handle it. I'm going to do what I'm going to do, right? I'm not expecting anybody to do anything accordingly, right? So it is what it is. But let's get back to the topic at hand, ladies and gentlemen. we have Mr. Brittain Brown today, a running back. Wow, this is going to be an interesting one, right? Very, very interesting one. I am going to start with the basics, right? We know Mr. Brittain Brown is actually from Canton, Georgia, right? Let me look at his stats here. I believe he's a pretty healthy sized fella, if you will. Yes, he was born October 10th, 97, Canton, Georgia. 6'1", 205 pounds. So he's a pretty big dude, man. He went to Cherokee High School in Canton, Georgia. And as you all should know, he went to 2 different colleges, right? So, going to Canton, Georgia, where he was rated a 4-star prospect by ESPN and a 3-star recruit by Rivals, Scout, and 24/7 Sports. So I'm going to say a 3-star, right? I mean, ESPN had him 4, but reality is 3. As a senior in high school, he posted 213 carries for 177 yards, 18 TDs, added 24 catches for 284 yards and 2 TDs, named 5A Offensive Player of the Year, and earned GSWA Class 6 All-State First Team honors. So, coming out of Georgia, right, that's a big deal. It's interesting that he didn't pick a school in that area, if you will. Did Georgia, offer him? Probably not, right? I'm pretty sure he probably went there. But nonetheless, that's what we're dealing with. Mr. Brittain Brown. And he was initially drafted by us in the 2022 draft. He was a pickup by, right, Ziegler and Daniels in the 7th round. I think he was like the 205th draft pick of the whole draft. So, got him on the cheap, right? This is going to be an interesting one. And I'm just going to read through, right? I'm going to read through his college years. Spent 2 years at UCLA from 20 to 21, appearing in 17 games with 4 starts. Totaled 184 rushes for 1,100 yards and 11 TDs. He added 24 receptions, 213 yards and 1 TD as a redshirt senior. Played in 10 games with 4 starts. Rushed 102 times for 600 yards and 7 TDs. Recorded 18 receptions for 129 yards. In 2020, he posted 82 carries for 543 yards with 4 TDs, had 6 catches for 84 yards and 1 TD. So as you know, he was at UCLA with Charbonnet. So they had a 2-back system, and that pretty much tells you what you can expect based on that. He did play 3 seasons at Duke from 17 to 19, right, as a rookie. As a freshman coming in from high school. And with that, he had 25. He saw action in 25 games, 5 starts, rushed 222 times for 1,100 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Also finished with 17 receptions for 218 yards and 1 TD in 2019. Played 3 games and posted 12 carries, 56 yards, recorded 2 receptions, 13 yards. In 2017, appeared in all 13 games and rushed 130 times for 700 yards and 7 TDs. Also catching 14 passes for 161 yards. So, I'm not going to say that's super impressive because it's not, right? We're going to be honest here. We're going to call a spade, if you will. And, it is what it is with that particular. Shout out to my guy, Eric Raiders Haters. Yes, sir. Appreciate you for showing up, as always, man. So where are we? we are with Mr. Brittain Brown, and we are just going to immediately just, hey, we're diving in, ladies and gentlemen. Diving right on in. We are at the stats. Stats mean everything, right? So, we're going into college first. I actually didn't realize he was a kick and punt returner. Kick returner, basically. He had at Duke, his freshman and sophomore year. His first freshman year, he only had one return, 38 yards. Not bad. But his second sophomore year, he had 5 returns for 115 yards, averaging 23 yards. So, as a kick returner, I get it. We're going to talk about that, though, because the numbers don't add up. I got to be honest. The numbers don't add up as far as looking at him to come in and be a kick returner in the NFL. So we're just going to gloss over that. I just thought I'd put it up there to give maybe some train of thought that the previous regime may have had. I have no idea. But as a freshman, yep, he played 13 games, 130 attempts, 700 yards. He averaged 5. The one good thing about this kid is he always averaged roughly 5 yards a carry for the most part. Had 7 TDs, 14 receptions, right? We already went through that. So his freshman year was, solid for a freshman, man. 5 yards, averaging 5 yards a carry, averaging 11 yards a catch, 7 touchdowns. As a true freshman, it's all right, man. That's all right. Again, it's nothing mind-blowing, but it's definitely okay. As a sophomore, he only had 9 games. So injuries or somebody taking his job, right? I don't know which one. I haven't dug that deep. I don't have the time to do that much digging. But he had 80 attempts for 369 yards, and he only had 4.6 yards per carry sophomore year. So that dropped. I don't know what that's about. Only 3 TDs dropped, only 1 reception, right? Got a touchdown on that reception, 44-yard TD, but still, it's a little fishy to me, man, right? And then his third year, clearly there's a problem. And that's 2019. Only played 4 games. So again, somebody's taking this man's job or he got injured. I'm going with somebody took his job. But in the 7 games, he played 82 attempts, 543 yards with a 6.6 average, 4 touchdowns, received the ball 6 times, 84 yards and a touchdown. So that's his first year at UCLA in 2020, right? So not bad, right? Not bad. And then his final year, 10 games instead of 7. He had 20 more carries, but less than 100 yards more, meaning 615 yards to the 543 yards he had the previous season with 20 less carries. Had a better average with 6.6 as opposed to 6. He did score 7 touchdowns, so more than the previous year. And he definitely had more receptions receiving with 18 and 129 yards. But again, I see it as a drop-off. You know what I mean? You guys have seen enough of these to date. I like to see progression, right? It's just the name of the game. We want to see people progress, move forward, and really start to get things cooking. And I can honestly say that Mr. Brittain Brown is doing that right now, right? Based on just getting himself into the league, right? Because we know how he got to the league, which is McDaniels and crew. So these numbers are a little rough in my opinion. Again, he was picked in the 7th round, 250th pick, not 205, 250th. So I stand corrected. This is not looking good for Mr. Brittain Brown when it comes to T. Crump's grading report at this point right now. There's only one thing that can save him, guys, if you ask me. One thing and one thing only, and that's going to be his NFL numbers, right? So let's go. What does this look like? I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know. This is tough. This is really, really tough. Let me dig into this real quick. So, when it comes to these numbers, they're obviously all preseason, right? They're all preseason numbers. And, initially, you're not, nothing's thrown off. He didn't play against Jacksonville, right? This is 2022, FYI, remember. Because obviously we all remember the most recent Minnesota game where nobody scored much of anything. So it is what it is. But let's dive into this Minnesota game, because as the main back in preseason, he had 14 attempts for 54 yards, averaging 3.8. His longest run was 8 yards, 1 touchdown. You go into the next game against Miami, he had 9 carries, but he picked up 70 yards. So his average drastically improved, right? 7.7. And longest was a 36-yarder. So, hey, he's got some decent wheels. Maybe, yes, no, maybe so. I think that kind of gave it away. But, yeah. And then his final game, right? Against the New England Patriots, where I'm sure they were in his ear. This is our old team, Long story short, 11 attempts, 28 measly yards, barely 2 yards a carry. Did get a touchdown. Longest was 8. This is tough. This is really tough to me. I'm just not feeling any of these numbers, to be honest. Brittain Brown, he's got it rough. And to just cap this, as far as just discussing him, I've already given the measurables. He's got big hands, 10 5/8 inches, pause, But guys, what sticks out to me really, really bad, 40-yard dash, 4.69. Now look, Turf was no speed demon, and I don't expect every running back to be a speed demon. But if you're going to run a 4.6 and you're in the NFL, it has to be a low 4.6. He ran a 4.69, meaning he barely scratched a 4.6, and it's closer to 4.7. We have linemen that are doing that currently right now. 10-yard split, 169, which isn't bad, but right, 20-yard, 270, 20-yard shuttle, 4.31, 3-cone drill, 7.12 seconds, and a measly 34 in the vertical jump, again, 10.4 in the broad. Then only 16 reps on the bench press at 225 pounds. So I'm very, very underwhelmed with everything as of right now. I mean, he showed some spurts. Yeah, he showed some definite spurts. Shout out to my guy, Charles. Appreciate you for joining me. You're right, brother. I am on the grind, bro. I'm on the grind. So, but yeah, this Brittain Brown thing, I just got to let you guys know. We got to change it up, man. This was a tough one because my brothers know, the Raiders Syndicate absolutely knows that I had some love for Brittain Brown. Probably picked up that keyword had. Yeah. It's tough, man. It's tough. And what it is, Charles, is we're going down every player that's on the squad, that's on the roster right now. And that's why we're talking about him today. He was next on the list. And this grade is gonna hurt him. I am giving Brittain Brown a solid D. Solid D for dog, ladies and gentlemen. It's not good. I just don't see it. I see it as a reach right now. I think any rookie that we draft will absolutely come in and take his spot without a problem. And the injuries, right? There's just a lot that I saw that I don't see him fitting the bill moving forward. Maybe those intangibles have gotten better. Maybe the injuries. Maybe he's finally figured it out and he's gotten over the injury bug. I'm not sure. But do I think he has a place on the Raiders long term? Probably not. Probably not. And that's unfortunate. I thought he might have a better shot, if you will, based on what I had seen. I was hoping that those numbers in the preseason looked way better. They were way better than it looked. Because he had some spurts, man, and he looked like a good running back, particularly that Vikings game. Yeah, I thought he did pretty well, but again, I have to go with the stats. I have to go with the numbers, and those things don't lie. It's going to be really, really tough for him to make it through camp this year and stay on the practice squad at a minimum, a maximum, I should say. I don't see him making the 53-man roster at all. And if they put him in the practice squad yet again, I don't know, man. Unless they're looking at him, as a replacement, or I shouldn't say replacement, but a backup for Zeus, right? You're looking purely for a battering ram, somebody that's going to come in on short yardage. That's pretty much what I see from him. I don't see anything else. And that's what it is. So he's getting a D. A D from Mr. Brittain Brown. I really don't even see an avenue or a way to move up because I don't see him being on the team. That's just my thoughts. It is strange they haven't gotten rid of him. That's one of the things that racks my brain a tad is he's been around for a while now, even with the injury. So I was thinking maybe they saw something in him. No idea. But it is what it is, Mr. Brown. Apologies if you're mad. There's nothing I can do about it. I said I would be objective. And no, Milo Hunt, I'm glad you paid attention. This is not a Giants jersey. For the people that don't know, I'm going to close out with this. For some people, a hero. For some people, a villain. O.J. Simpson passed away yesterday. The news hit the wire this morning. So as you can see, that is an O.J. Simpson jersey. I don't wear any other jerseys. I don't wear any other teams. Obviously, I've gotten gifts. I've gotten a lot of jerseys from other players, teams based on players, and it's very obvious. It was kind of fitting, right? Here I am giving a grade on a running back today, and it just so happens, the juice has passed. So that's what jersey this is. So tune in tonight. You guys already know. The Turf and Rundown show is going to be live. Loud and proud. I'm actually going to have a different tribute for Mr. OJ. So tune in and check it on out, man. As I've stated, O.J. Simpson was by far one of my favorite running backs of all time, ladies and gentlemen. By far one of my favorites. And I like that, Milo. I like that, man. I think you're absolutely right. Let me see if I can do something here. We will absolutely have a 10-second moment of silence for Mr. Orenthal Simpson. There we go. That moment of silence, ladies and gentlemen, 100% for your guy, O.J. Simpson. Whether you love him or hate him, He's a staple. He's an absolute staple in the NFL. He will always be a Hall of Famer no matter how you look at it. And I'm paying homage. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do on my side of the fence. I wouldn't be where I am today if it weren't for the running backs of the past that really gave me that grit, that, you know, everything I needed to look up to them, to try to be like them on the field. So there you have it. Ladies and gentlemen, again, do not forget tonight, 8:30 Central Standard Time, 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific, the Turf and Rundown Show. It is absolutely going to be monumental tonight. You do not want to miss it. We will absolutely be talking more about Mr. Orenthal J. Simpson and just his life in general, man. You got to remember, you got a lot of running backs on the Raiders syndicate, so we will be paying our homage. We will be discussing. And until then, ladies and gentlemen, Brittain Brown, D as in dog, that's what it is. Turf is out. I mean, I don't see how we can't be happy about that.
Decomposing, you been bugging.
It should.